Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be reviewing some contradictory information and try to stay skeptical throughout. You guys should hold me accountable to that and let me know how if you disagree. This article, this is the first one I'm going to be looking at. It says the Democrats' embrace of BLM may be about to monumentally backfire. Okay, this is from the Telegraph. I see you people in the live chat. How's my audio? Please make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm just gonna. Audio is good. Thank you guys. Yeah, and also if you're watching this video later, try to hit the notification bell and join us live. So actually, I could highlight your comments like this, like AGA, like Tim, and also on Twitch. Marco is on Twitch, right? So follow us on Twitch as well. Anyways, let's get into it. We have to jump into these videos fast, or else people. This is what I've been told. You have to jump into the discussion fast. If I miss anything in the live chat, once I'm done with the article, I'm going to focus my entire attention on the live chat and go through the comments. So sorry if I miss anything while I go through the article. Okay. Mars is here. Hey. Okay. Let's read this article. Who wrote this? This is by Freddie Gray. The Black Lives Matter movement could sink the Democrats and ensure Donald Trump's re-election. Wow, that's scary. That is so scary. Oh my god! I know some of you are Trump supporters in the live chat. I don't know why you do this, but okay. But this is scary to me. If I had made the statements a few weeks ago, you might have thought me mad. After the police killing of George Floyd on May 25th, the world was horrified. The Democratic Party made considerable political hay from massive and widespread protests and riots which followed. Joe Biden still then the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee and his top allies all firmly aligned themselves with BLM. They repeated BLM slogans, took the knee, demand radical change, then enjoyed a surge in the polls. Now, however, we are approaching the end of August. The riots haven't stopped, and the Democrats' embrace of BLM is starting to look like a monumental mistake. Every night, okay, this article seems extremely biased. Does it sound like extremely biased to you guys? Like, then the Telegraph, isn't that supposed to be like a, yeah, I don't know. Like the tone of this language, it doesn't seem like it's trying to be objective. I don't know. We'll see. Wait, guys, I need to zoom in so you could, if you guys need to read along with me, you can. Okay, so if I don't zoom into an article or tweet, let me know. AJ is saying, I feel this article is out of touch with the demographics compared to the data sheet on the in the other link. Yeah, I'll go over some countries. You know, like I'm not just gonna read people who agree with this. I'm gonna also check out some counter points as well. Okay. Wait, where did I finish? Okay. Every night across America, cars and shops are being smashed or set alight and property defaced with graffiti saying BLM. The worst affected areas in cities such as Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington now resemble war zones. American voters are sickened by videos of police killing Black citizens, but they are also increasingly disgusted by endless images of carnage, and they are disturbed by the radical BLM. What is this? Blath? I don't know. That senior Democrats seem much too keen to echo. Every sane person agrees that Black Lives Matter. Wait, every sane person agrees that Black Lives Matter. Okay, sorry. But BLM's other big slogan, defund the police, starts to sound like madness when homicide rates are spiking and maniacs exploit the lawlessness. Okay, this article doesn't seem to try to be objective. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or anything, but it just doesn't seem like, at least it's not even trying to pretend to be objective. I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting. BLM spokesmen often encourage violence, threatening to burn places down if they don't get what they want. Voters find that off-putting. An interesting new civics survey, which I will show you guys, by the way, the survey that they're mentioning, shows that in the immediate aftermath of Floyd's death, support for BLM surged among non-college educated white people in crucial election background states such as Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. By the end of by the end of July, a majority of those same voters said they opposed the movement. Here's a tweet by Joe Biden. It says, "Remember, every example of violence Donald Trump decries has happened on his watch, under his leadership during his presidency." Biden finally took to Twitter this week to say, okay, so basically Biden was supporting at first he was like supporting all the protesters, and then he said like, okay, fine, there is violence, but it's Trump's fault. And now he finally went on Twitter saying, burning down communities is not protest, it's needless violence. Okay, so even Biden was pushed to actually call out some of the violence. So because it's really hard to figure out how much, because here's what I don't like, right? Like nobody is like, it doesn't seem like anybody is giving you what's actually happening. Like all the people that keep saying like, oh yeah, there's no violence, it's just like the violence is nothing. There's no riots. It's vast majority of it's peaceful protests. The people that you expect to say that, they say that. And all the people that you expect them to say that, oh yeah, it's like a war zone. Everything is like everything is burning down. The sky is falling. All the people that you expect them to say like the sky is falling, they're saying the sky is falling. So I'm like, okay, who do I actually go to get an accurate assessment of what the hell is happening on the ground? Like, why is like everybody just saying exactly what you expect them to say? God damn it. Like, who do I follow? Like, yeah, actually, I know some of the people I could trust. But sounded a lot like too little, too late. In 1972, hold on, Mars is saying Biden just issued a statement condemning the violence. Yeah. In 1972, what do you mean just? Like just right now as we're speaking? In 1972, Richard Nixon, a president less loved than perhaps even Donald Trump, managed to win his second term in a landslide by campaigning against crime and social decay. Who knows what will happen in this mad year, but the widespread sense of BLM anarchy has given Trump's campaign an impetus it had lacked. What the hell is this one? The BLM riots have also validated the other big Republican point. The media's perception of what is happening in America is hopelessly wrapped by its left-wing perspective and its loathing of Donald Trump. They showing this. You guys know this was a famous scene, right, on CNN, where the guy was saying, hold on, let me play this for you guys.
Christine, Laura, what you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been...
This became a major meme by a lot of right-wing people because they're saying like is right under the CNN saying peaceful protest, and it's showing like things like on fire, and there's like some things are like breaking, the noise in the background is crazy, and then it says mostly peaceful protest. And I think if I remember, even this guy actually mentions the word peaceful, does he? So that became a major meme because it was like, are you serious? Like, why does it say peaceful here? And there's like, everything is burning behind you. So,
Christine, Laura, what you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night. A second night since Jacob Blake was seen shot in the back 7 times by a police officer. And what you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement.
Okay, so see, I think this is an unfair point by a lot of right-wing people, because obviously, if something is fire, they're showing it to you, like they have, like at least they're not hiding it. They're like going like, oh look, the things are on fire, right? But what he's saying is not like. Okay, so I think this is unfair by right-wing people, because the right-wing people are like, oh my God, look, he's saying everything is mostly peaceful, but things are burning in the background. But he's trying to put what's happening. See, this is why you can't trust anybody, because what he was trying to do is to put it in the context of what he saw largely happening. Okay, he wasn't saying like, okay, look at these things behind me on fire, but don't worry, nothing to see here. He was saying, yeah, things are on fire, but by and large, what we experienced wasn't like this. So it's not as ridiculous as what the right-wing people are making it sound like. Yeah, it's not as ridiculous as it seems in the memes, right? Does that make sense? Anyways, let me continue. Like, even this tweet is saying CNN reporter reports in front of a burning building with mostly peaceful protests after police shooting. But if you actually listen to what he was saying, you see, this is so dishonest. He was saying like, this is different from what we saw elsewhere. That was what his point was. God damn it. No, the guys, don't trust anybody. Do not trust anybody. Be skeptical of everything you read, okay? Over the weekend, the disturbing clip of policemen shooting a black man, Jacob Blake, emerged from... Yeah, okay, this is getting... A CNN reporter covering the unrest was filmed standing in front of her. Yeah, we just saw that. Okay, so you're describing that. Okay, let me show you one other article that has actually made me like, what the hell is this? Oh, no, actually, let me show you this poll, okay? Black Lives Matter. So you can see that the percentage of support, you know what? The best way to look at this, because you can't see like what context is this. Like, I like to look at year to year. So right now it's like all the way back from, what is this, 2017. Yeah, this doesn't tell us much, right? So if you want to actually see what's happening, you have to click on this. Can you guys see what's happening here? You have to click on this 12 months thing to get some better context, right? Because we want to see year to year, right? Or even maybe 6 months. Yeah, so to see what's happening more recently. Okay, so if you can see, like, the support right after George Floyd went way up. Right after George Floyd post George Floyd shooting, it just jumped, boom, right? And then ever since then, because of the riots, the support is going down. The opposition to a BLM has gone up, right? And the people that are like neither support nor oppose, that has gone down. So a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm taking a position on this, right? But the interesting thing is that if you look at the opposed side right now, it's higher than when it was pre-George Floyd. So right at George Floyd, it was 28, and then it went down, and now it's higher than it was than before when George Floyd was killed. But the thing is that even the support for it, so the support for it right before George Floyd was 45%, and then it jumped all the way to 52%. That's the major jump. Like, if you look at 12 year, this has been the biggest jump it has ever seen in BLM getting support, right? But now the number, let me actually see. Okay, so it's 49. So, okay, the support is still higher than pre-George Floyd, even though it went down. So actually, to get a better understanding of, the whole effect of this, it's better, instead of looking at the complete, breakdown of the trend line, to just look at the net support. The net support. Now you can see how big of a factor the riots were. Okay, so the George Floyd, before the George Floyd killing, it was the support for BLM was 17%. Then the net support. Okay, so the positive support minus the negative, right? And then it went, because of George Floyd, it went to 25. Like, this is a major change. Like, look, if you look at 12 years, you can see the change looks even more dramatic once you look at the net support. It went from 17 to 25, right? Now let's go back to 6 months. But then the net support, because of the riots, went down. And then, I'm assuming it's because of the riots. You could tell me if I'm wrong. But now look at this. So now the net support is at 11%. How much was it? It was 17% right at George Floyd killing, and now it's at 11%. So that means that all the positive gain that the BLM had because of George Floyd's killing, all the gain in some popularity they had, it wasn't that net support wasn't just erased. It went actually to the riots actually managed to erase all of that, but also to go back to pre-George Floyd killing. This is huge. Like, it was 17% before George Floyd's killing, and now it's at 11%. They lost all their gains and more. They lost another extra 6%. Is that fair assessment, you guys? Yes, 6%. They lost 6%. Okay, but is this going to have an effect on election? That's what we want to know. Okay, I'm going to look at some other. Oh wait, yeah, some other. You know what we have to do actually, because we have to look at the independents, because well, yeah, the independence actually has, even if I remove everybody, the change is this much. But if I add independent, the change is even more dramatic. And that's the independents are the key people that you need to worry about. Like, look, this is everybody, and now the independents. Yeah, so this is what you need to worry about, the independents, right? But let's look at this. Let me actually see if you guys are calling me out on anything that I say that is wrong. No. Anybody? Oh, here, Marco is saying, even you said George Floyd shooting, there was no shooting. Oh, sorry, killing. God damn it! Why did I say shooting? Okay, see, this is why I do this live stream. I meant killing. God damn it. Marco is saying, even you said George Floyd shooting, there was no shooting, and he probably even wasn't murdered. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. Yeah, I meant killing. You guys know what I meant. God damn it. Okay, but thank you for correcting me. This is why I do this with you guys, because I know I make mistakes, and you guys are holding me accountable. Okay, look at this article. Okay, I was reading this article to see what some other opinions, and as I was reading it, I was like, this is so biased. This seems like one of the most conservative, like very right leaning. And then I was like, yeah, this is extremely biased. This doesn't seem right. Okay. And then I looked at, see this logo here? Wait, let me zoom in for you guys. Maybe I should remove this dark mode so you guys can see better, right? I like looking at everything though. And I was like, this logo here is giving me right-wing vibes, right? Like, I was like, yeah, this is like a right-leaning website, isn't it? Right? And then, yeah, like express.co.uk. So what I did is, like, I put Wikipedia express.co.uk, and then I got this Wikipedia page. And I was like, are we talking about the same people as Daily Express? Because I'm not saying Daily Express anywhere here. Like, this tiny stuff says Daily and Sunday Express, but this is giving me Daily Express. And I'm like, oh, okay, here, look, their website. And then I basically did a Control F for express.co.uk. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is the website. Yeah, their website is express.co.uk. And then I look here, it says, yeah, look at this. It's like, aligned with UKIP. Oh my, yeah, and other right-wing factions. So yeah, this is why you have to be careful. You just Wikipedia their website, and you come and look at what they actually try to see if they're biased, and you see, like, yeah, this is an extremely right-wing website, right? So just like do this kind of search when you're reading an article. Just make sure that you actually do some digging into who these people are, and because I saw, like, for example, Tim Pool was highlighting this article, and then when he's not telling you that this is a very right-leaning website. It was just like acting like this is just like a news article, an unbiased news article. And I'm like, yeah, that's not fair. You have to tell people that this is not a objective website, right? So let me see actually what they said, and it just seems like this is a very okay. So the title says, oh, okay, so Tim is saying Daily Express refers to the printed edition. Yeah. But do you guys think, like, it's irresponsible for somebody like Tim Pool to just read this article and not tell his audience that this is a right-leaning website? I think it is. I don't know. U.S. election 2020, Trump handed huge boost as Biden makes major mistake, exclusive poll. Donald Trump is on the course for a clear victory. Are you serious? Okay, guys. I know that anything could happen, okay, that Trump could lose, Trump could win. But like, as soon as I read this, I'm like, what kind of world are you living in? Donald Trump is on course for a clear victory. Who could say that with a clear like, what the hell? Like, how is anybody taking this website seriously? At least just say like, oh, the likelihood of Donald Trump winning is increasing. Obviously, it's not gonna. It's not. I mean, every single poll has still Biden up. How could this be? Like, you could be like, oh, the trends are now going in favor of Trump, and yet Trump could still win. But if, based on the polls, if the election happens today, the chances are that Biden will win, based on the polls right now. And you have what? Like here, one poll. You have one poll that is showing you the odds on the other side, and you're like, oh yeah, clear victory. What the hell are you talking about? Like, this is some biased crap. Donald Trump is on course for a clear victory in the U.S. presidential election after he opened up a 3-point lead over Joe Biden in an exclusive poll for the Sunday Express. Yeah, I'm not sure if I trust your polls, but even if I did, this is one poll, god damn it. Every other poll has him is the other way around. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that Trump is definitely going to lose, but this is a major exaggeration. I'm like, yeah, so many ads here. Okay, then it continues. According to the latest monthly Democratic Institute DI Sunday Express poll, again, I'm not saying if the poll is trustworthy or not, because sometimes the websites and the news centers, like, sometimes they're very right-leaning and they're very left-leaning, but they end up having good unbiased polls anyways, right? So, for example, Fox is very right-leaning, but their polls are unbiased. So I don't know if I don't know if this is a good poll or not. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it not. Sunday, President Trump has 48% of the popular support over former Vice President Biden's 45%. By the way, something else you have to understand, that what really matters is not the national polls. What really matters is like the polls in the key states. And I think like Florida is one of the most important ones, right? Am I right? And I think not a single poll shows, for example, Trump leading in Florida. Let me actually see what you guys are saying. Oh wait, Soha is saying Daily Express is everyday newspaper except Sunday. Express on Sunday is Sunday's newspaper. Okay. AG is saying the only polls that matter are from battleground states. Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said. Yeah, good. So yeah, I agree. Ethan is saying the CNN commentator Don Lemon came out and said the polls have changed direction in favor of Trump because of the violence taking place in the cities. Yeah, so that's true. See, these two statements are not mutually exclusive, right? Things are trending now in favor of Trump. This statement here and saying, as of today, I'm not talking about the future. As of today, things are looking better for Biden. These two statements are not mutually exclusive, because one is talking about trends and the other one is talking about probabilities as a snapshot today. Okay? So these two are not mutually exclusive. But this statement about right above here is talking like right now, as of right now, with the data that we have right now, Trump is on course for a clear victory, which is not true. Okay? It's fair to say that things are trending towards Trump, but it's not fair to say this. Okay? In the key swing states, oh, there we go, key swing states. In the key swing states, the gap is even bigger, really, with 49% for Trump to 42% for Biden, giving the incumbent U.S. president an almost unassailable 7 points lead. Yeah, I keep think this is so extremely biased. I don't know what this. Since the DI poll in August, a crucial month which saw the Democrat and Republican conventions, the president has gained a point in the swing states, while his opponent has lost a point. Okay, significantly, the latest poll shows that the 21% were positively influenced to vote Trump after the Republican conventions, but a negligible 8% were inspired to vote Biden after the Democratic convention. Trump is set to win in Minnesota 48-45, Florida 47-44, and New Hampshire, where he just held a major rally, 47 to 43. Okay, why is none of these polls being showed here? Okay, this is realclearpolitics.com, and I'm looking at all the that was even the national poll that they mentioned. There's not a single one here that shows Trump up. I mean, it's showing that the trend is moving a little bit towards Trump, but still, as it stands right now, I'm not saying why is that not included? Is it that they're not trustworthy, or maybe that it's just a recent poll and they haven't? I mean, this website updates itself really fast. Why is that poll not included in here, right? Why is that poll why is this not here? Because every single poll that I'm seeing here is Biden is up. Biden is up, right? I mean, the gap is closing, but still Biden is up. Am I missing something here? Marco is saying the problem is not that Trump will likely win. The problem is that he could win the electorate college. Yeah, but here's the thing, guys. Even if Trump doesn't win, if BLM made it more likely for him to win, that's unforgivable for me. Not BLM, okay? Because a lot of people in BLM are they have different views. If the woke mob, okay, I don't want to associate everybody in BLM with the woke mob, okay? Because a lot of them I talk to, I think see eye to eye with me, okay? But it's also infected with the woke mentality as well. Like that, we can't deny that as well. I guess both of that is true. There are a lot of people there that have genuine concerns, that are fighting for things that are deserve fighting for. But there's also a whole bunch of crazy in there, right? So, but if the woke mob is making the election of Trump more likely, I know Ethan likes Trump, but I think this is a disaster if Trump wins, right? And if they are, even if Trump loses, if they made it more likely for him to win, then that's unforgivable. Seriously, this is how the BLM is putting not just United States, but the entire planet at risk, in my opinion. And I know some of you guys disagree. Marcus saying the problem is not that Trump. Yeah, I already read that. AJ is saying the political climate changes week to week. Yeah, and we're here for it. It also appears clear that U.S. voters have already made up their minds within a mere 3% of Trump voters and 9% of Biden supporters, suggesting they could have a change of heart on polling day on November 3. Oh, really? Only 3% of Trump supporters will say that they could change their opinion, but that number is 9% for Biden. Patrick Basham, the director of the Democracy Institute, said that the polls confirmed that the Democrats completely misread the effect of Black Lives Matter protests and the desire of Americans to restore law and order in the wake of riots and anarchic is that protest? He said in any political campaign there's a moment that tells you which way the electoral winds is blowing. In this year's American presidential campaign, the moment arrived on Wednesday. Joe Biden restated his support for peaceful protests, but crucially condemned the violence that has come to dominate the month-long nationwide protest movement. I mean, guys, if Trump wins, and it was because of these riots, then nobody should ever tell me again that the woke mob, that the woke dogma is not a major issue, okay? Because if they manage to get Trump reelected, they basically screwed the entire planet. This small fringe group in the United States just managed to screw up the whole planet. So yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I hope this is all wrong, by the way. Hold on. When a candidate changes his tune 3/4 of the way through a race, it is not because he knows he holds a winning hand. He does so because the electoral ground is shifting beneath his feet. Yeah, I think you're reading a little bit too much into just him. Just because he's changing his tune, that doesn't mean everything is shifting beneath his feet. Okay, this is come on, like this kind of language is what people like. You just tell me what's happening. The Biden campaign made this move for one simple reason. Its own internal polling numbers reveal what Democracy Institute Sunday Express polls have shown for the past 3 months. The overwhelming majority of Americans, including black voters, are opposed to organized anarchy, looting, vandalism, mayhem, and murdering of innocent people, explicitly and implicitly cheered on by considerable cabal of Democratic politicians, while an even large number simply turned a blind eye. According to the poll, law and order is clearly the top political issue, with 37% putting it at the most important, followed by 27% for the economy. 37 for law and order, 27 for the economy. Wow, really? So it's not the economy, stupid? According to the poll, 74% favor of all lives matter. What? Where is this poll taken? Is this like, I don't know, guys, is this a good poll? I don't know. Is this like a legitimate poll? Over 26% Black Lives Matter, and increase in the in the gap. Oh, sorry, GDP. The gap by 2% since August, showing that U.S. voters are tired of the protests. Let me see what you guys are saying. If there's anything you're correcting me, this is why I do this with you guys. The woke mob got him. Okay, Ethan is saying the woke mob got him elected last time. Will get him elected again. They tried this riots, intimidation last time around, and they have increased the intensity this time. The problem is that like a lot of the BLM supporters do not want Trump elected, but the woke people within the BLM movement, they probably prefer if Trump gets reelected, because like they would lose a lot of relevancy if Trump doesn't get reelected. Marco is saying, again, I'm not saying this about Black Lives Matter supporter. I'm talking about the core woke, the wokey people. Marco is saying we just cannot afford for this idiot of Donald Trump to rule USA for another 4 years. If this happens, I'm moving to to Alps in Austria, and I will spend the rest of my life there. AJ is saying this is more of an opinion piece than news article based on facts. Yeah, I'm gonna do something a little bit more objective after this one by 5:38 to see what they think. Yeah, I know. That's why I know this is biased. That's why I told you guys this is biased from the beginning before I even read it to you guys, right? I agree with Ethan's statement there about the woke mob electing Trump last time. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Almost 2/3 of them think that Biden has not been tough enough in his language, condemning the violence. Almost 8 in 10 voters disapprove of statues being pulled down, and 26% of voters say that the latest violence in Wisconsin makes them more likely to vote Trump compared to 10% Biden. The decision by Joe Biden to make Kamala Harris a mixed-race woman senator, his running mate, has had minimal impact, with 11% more likely to support him and 12% less likely. Then he goes through some numbers. Yeah, more numbers. Again, because I don't trust these people, I'm going to actually just go to this one. So this is so far we read. Do you guys like a dark mode, or like do you prefer, like I look at things in dark mode, but do you guys like white or dark? White or dark? Tell me, okay? Yeah, let me zoom in so you guys read. So here's a like we saw so far. We saw how like the riots are making people might get people go against Biden, but now we look at another article that thinks the exact opposite. Just to be fair, just to see the counterpoints as well. Okay, could a backlash against Black Lives Matter hurt Biden? The two don't appear linked so far, with the emphasis on so far. Okay, so see, this is what I do it for you guys here. Like I go over different, I this is how you know this is not like a bias bubble channel that is not like just trying to push a narrative to you guys. Like, how many other people do this for you? Like, see, give this video a like. See, I'm not like, this is not an echo chamber of opinions that just is trying to push a certain narrative. We're looking at contradictory views here and try to figure it out together, and you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong about something. You don't get this in many other places. Come on, guys. Subscribe to this channel. All right. All right, so let's read this. In the wake of the police killing of George Floyd on May, wow, I got a €5 super chat by Marco. Thank you so much. That's about 6.66 US dollars. Hail Satan, Armin B, his name. Thank you so much, Marco. Marco, you're doing super chats too much. Seriously, too generous. Cut it out. Anyways, let's read this. Thank you, Marco. In the wake of police killing of George Floyd on May 25th, the popularity of Black Lives Matter movement skyrocketed by early June. Wait, let me F11. Oh no, I F11 you guys. I need to F11 this article. There we go. Yeah, by early June, 53% of registered voters said they supported the movement, compared with 28% who said they opposed it. Did you guys vote for black or white for the background? You guys didn't vote. Vote for black or white. Dark mode or white, or like not dark mode. I wouldn't call you racist, I promise. Yeah, thank you, Marco. By early June, 53% of registered voters said they supported the movement, compared with 28% who said they opposed it, according to polling by Civics. Civics, is that how you say it? That's the poll basically that I showed you. Dark mode. Okay, dark. You guys are saying I might vote for black. Dark. Okay, dark. We're keeping it dark. Okay. Tim is saying it doesn't matter. Okay, good. In particular, let me zoom in so you guys could read at least. In particular, white Democratic support of the movement increased from 80% to 90%, and there were both more white independents expressing support for BLM and fewer expressing opposition. At about the same time, Joe Biden led President Trump by about 6 to 7 percentage points in 538 average of national polls. But between that time and the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, is that how you say Kenosha? On Sunday, we have barely any new polling since Blake's shooting. Okay, so yeah, we need more information. Black Lives Matter surge in popularity ended. About 49% of registered voters said they supported the movement, compared with around 38% in opposition, similar to BLM's net approval before Floyd's death. So, okay, so this is everybody. By the way, nobody is disputing the fact that BLM support is dropping like a rock. Nobody nobody is disputing that. Like, that is happening. Okay, that is happening. But what's being disputed right now, whether that this drop in popularity for BLM, is it going to affect Biden or not? And this article is going to say not. Not as of right now. Just be clear, not as of right now. That drop in popularity has largely been driven by increased opposition among white Republicans, 80% of whom opposed the movement, higher than before Floyd's death, and white independents who now support BLM at the similar levels as before Floyd's death. And at the moment, Biden leads Trump by just over 8 points in 538 polling average. Why does all of this polling data matter? Because it suggests that Biden's electoral prospects and the popularity of Black Lives Matter are not closely linked, at least not so far. Again, guys, this is very important, this part. What they're saying is at least not so far. The not so far, again, being the key phrase here. Some political analysts have suggested that the decline in support for Black Lives Matter and the increased focus from both Republicans and the media on riots that have accomplished some that have accompanied some of the protests of police violence against black people might boost Trump and hurt Biden. Right. So this is what I like to see in an article, right? I like to see in an article for them to not only like they're linking to the people who disagree with them, they're bringing up people who are disagreeing with them. Again, this doesn't show that the article is not biased, but it's kind of nice to see, you know. Okay, Republicans certainly seem to think so. Numerous speakers at the Republican National Convention have condemned the rioting and implied that that state and local Democratic leaders are being too lenient towards the protesters who are generally associated with Black Lives Matter. Yeah, this is something that would be interesting with me. If it wasn't for BLM, the RNC wouldn't have anything to talk about. Like, it would be just, I mean, they would. I think they would just be focusing on the economy. Yeah, I think that's what we. Yeah, they would just be talking about that. Law and order, meanwhile, was a heavy theme in Vice President Mike Pence's address at the convention on Wednesday night, including the line, "The hard truth is you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America." Oh my God! Ugh, God damn it! What an yeah, that's gross. That's an exaggeration. I mean, you know, just like a lot of this is the right-wing version of some of the woke people, you know, crazy people on the woke side, right? So, for example, on the BLM side, a lot of people have genuine concerns, and they're looking at data, and they're like, okay, this needs to be fixed, and they have genuine things that they want to change, right? But then you have the crazy woke people who make it seem like it's open season on black people in the United States. And like, yeah, okay, you're not helping your cause if you're exaggerating the problem. And again, but you see the same kind of lines from right-leaning people like, you won't be safe under, like, oh yeah, like if Joe Biden becomes elected, nobody could sleep, like everybody is going to be like at any point some black guy is going to come into your apartment and just murder you, and under Joe Biden's America, and there's nobody's going to come to protect you. Yeah, like this is the kind of vibe I'm getting from them. Again, I might be wrong, but I feel like this is just the other side of the woke. What the hell? We got another super chat. I told Marco to stop giving us super chat, and gives another super chat. Marco, give us another super chat, €2, and give Armin $1 or $2. It's just a coffee. Okay, Marco, you stop it. Okay, stop it. Thank you so much, but cut it out. Come on. Maybe I should use reverse psychology on Marco. I'm like, okay, give me more super chats, Marco. Let's see if that works. Stop it, don't. Seriously though. Ethan is saying, but thank you. Ethan is saying, since BLM protesters have started attacking transgender people, I wonder where the alphabet people are giving their support. The alphabet people. And the thing is that news is not getting out there that much. That news is being suppressed a little bit. I feel. I'm not sure though. These dynamics could hurt Biden. It's hard to predict the future. Okay, this is a huge understatement. Yes, it is. By the way, here's a trick for you guys. Do not trust people that come and say like, "Oh yeah, Trump is gonna win." Yep, it's over. Like, we know. Or people who say like, "Nope, Trump is gonna lose. Biden is winning. I called it. It's certain." It's very weird because people trust people who talk with that level of certainty more, but it has to be the exact opposite. You should be trusting people who are skeptical more. But somehow our brains are wired in a way that when somebody comes and speaks with confidence and certainty, we're like, oh yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. But it's usually it's not always, but it's usually the exact opposite. Usually the people that are talking to you with 100% certainty, like, oh yeah, this is going to happen. I'm telling you. And the problem is that sometimes they actually end up being right. And if they were speaking with confidence and they just happen to be right, people see that as a sign that they knew what they're talking about. But of course, like if they're people that have unjustified certainty exist on both sides, and some of them are going to end up being right anyways. That doesn't mean they did the right analysis. They just happened to be right. Again, be more skeptical of people who speak about the future with high degrees of certainty. Be skeptical. That should be like a major red flag for you. Okay, but be wary of any confident argument. Yeah, you see, they said exactly what I'm saying. Wow, look at this. I didn't even read this. Another thing, but be wary of any confident arguments that they will hurt him. Since the popularity of Black Lives Matter dipped weeks ago, but Biden's did not. Okay, I don't understand this part. Okay, because that doesn't mean that it didn't affect it. So because first, there might be a delay in the effect, but they acknowledge that. But also, even if Biden's popularity didn't dip, it might have been higher if it wasn't for this drop in BLM support, right? So just because there wasn't a major dip in Biden support, that doesn't mean that the drop in BLM support hasn't affected it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, you're welcome. In fact, there are a few fairly logical reasons that would explain why BLM support has gone down that don't really have anything to do with Biden, and that wouldn't affect his electoral prospects. So there's 3 reasons. Let's see what the 3 reasons that the drop in BLM is not necessarily gonna drop in support for BLM is not necessarily gonna translate to a drop in support for Biden. Again, this is not saying it wouldn't, but it's saying that it doesn't have to. So let's see the 3 reasons. Number 1, the surge in support for BLM came in the wake of constant media coverage of Floyd's death, which was recorded on video and depicted hard to defend behavior from the police. It's not surprising that those numbers gradually came back to earth once media coverage of Floyd's and the resulting protests became less pervasive. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2, second, BLM is a social activist movement, not an electoral or political organization. BLM activists aren't conducting endless polling and trying to maximize public support. Wait, aren't they taking their money and donating it to the Democratic Party? I thought that's what they were doing. I might be wrong about that. Polling and trying to maximize public support, and they generally keep some distance from party politics. I'm not sure about this. I've seen reports of the opposite of this, but I might be wrong. I'm happy to be corrected. In fact, the weeks after Floyd's death, Black Lives Matter activists started pushing controversial ideas such as defunding the police and controversial tactics such as blocking traffic when they were protesting. I doubt it shocked BLM activists that defunding the police in particular was not popular, and I would assume that at least some of the dip in BLM's popularity among white Republicans and white independents stemmed from its embrace of cutting police funding in addition to rioting. I don't know about this number 2 part, because this number 2 does not acknowledge the fact that with all of this defunding the police and blocking traffic and the rioting, so the reason why this might affect the Democratic Party is because the Democratic Party saw all of that and they still embraced BLM and they still showed a large amount of support for it. So even if they are not tied to the Democratic Party, which could be argued that they are in some ways, but even if they weren't, the support that the Democratic Party, the full support that the Democratic Party had for the BLM, still ties them into all of these tactics. So I don't know about point number 2. I don't know. I don't think that this is valid. Maybe I'm wrong though. Number 3 is saying, finally, as BLM started taking more controversial stance, particularly defunding the police, Republican politicians started attacking those positions. Voters often follow cues from the elites in their party, so it's not surprising that BLM has grown more unpopular with Republicans and some independents. Okay, this doesn't even address the issue. First of all, it's not just the defunding the police. I think the main thing that is turning people off is the constant images of the riots, not the peaceful protest part of the but the riots and the businesses, and the cars being burned and people being killed. I think that's a major, like, when was this article written? Like, you're missing the entire point. I think this is August 27th. This is like just recently. What the hell? This guy, okay, so these three reasons actually didn't convince me, man. Why? Not the right-wing ones didn't convince me, and now this one is not convincing me either. Like, I think like this is also missing the entire point. Yeah, okay, so obviously the Republican politicians are against it, and that, but it's missing two key points. It's not about just the defunding police, it's about the riots and the shootings and the burnings, and also it's missing the entire point that, yeah, the BLM, the drop in popularity of the BLM might affect the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party completely went full on board public, like they invested in signaling to the whole world that everything BLM does is a-okay. Like, they did that, so that's how they might be tied to it. We got another super chat from Marco. I don't know how to stop him, guys. I don't know how to stop Marco. Marco gave us another €2 super chat. Thank you so much, Marco. He's saying, just like teasing you, no message this time. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. Maybe you should ignore him. Thank you, Marco. But you're being too generous. But thank you. Ethan is saying, I really hope Biden takes Nancy Pelosi's advice and refuses to debate Trump. I think that would be a huge win for Trump. Yeah, I think so too. It would be a sign of weakness. But that's because Ethan is a Trump supporter. He's supporting us financially, but he's a Trump supporter, and he's happy. He's fine with us completely disagreeing with him on that point. So, thank you for supporting us. But again, we're very transparent with what my position is. I am extremely, extremely aggressively anti-Trump, and it will continue to be so. And yeah. Unless something, I can't imagine what could happen to change that, but never say never. Biden, in contrast, has repeatedly condemned rioting and also repeatedly said, what the hell? He only did that recently. Really, Biden, in contrast, has repeatedly condemned rioting and also repeatedly said that he opposes defunding the police. Okay, he did say that from early on, but maybe I missed it. Maybe he also repeatedly condemned rioting, and I only noticed it recently. Maybe, I'm not sure. I mean, to be fair, he's not that very interesting. So even if he did that earlier, maybe I just didn't notice it. So it would make sense that voters don't link his views to BLM. But the thing is that but you're here's the thing. This is not fair to BLM, because you're suggesting that BLM is 100% linked to rioting, right? Because you're saying Biden condemned rioting, so that's why people don't link him to BLM. I mean, this is seems like an unfair take on BLM, because he's kind of suggesting that BLM equals rioting. A lot of people in BLM are not for rioting. And because a lot of people in BLM are not for rioting, they're for peaceful protests. That's why maybe Biden saying repeatedly condemning rioting, a lot of people don't see that as an because let me break this down to you, okay? So that people that the drop of popularity in BLM might still affect Biden, because they think that BLM, a lot of people from the BLM group are encouraging rioting, and when Biden is saying I condemn rioting, they think that he's pretending that BLM is not part of the rioting, and he's condemning something that he doesn't consider to be part of BLM, and he still fully supports the BLM. And that's why they think that Biden is missing the point, that some parts of BLM is encouraging rioting, and Biden refuses to call out BLM as a BLM for the encouraging of the rioting. And even though he's condemning the rioting, because they are fully supporting BLM, the drop in popularity in BLM could still affect Biden. Does that make sense? Or that was like multiple layers, okay? Like, so I don't know if you followed what I said. Ethan is saying many of the BLM people are okay with the rioting. Even Rico, you had on the other day, said he was okay with it. Well, I kind of tried to discourage him from saying that he understands why it happens. Like, instead of saying that he's okay with it, he could just say, like, kind of, I like the MLK take. MLK, that's what I told him. Like, just say I understand why it happens, but I condemn it. Okay, that's what I encouraged him to do. I don't know. I think I had an effect on him, and I think he agreed with me when I said that. Tim is saying yes. I assumed it was a. Oh yeah, you guys are not talking to each other, not talking to me. Hold on. Let me just. This is almost over. Whoa, it's not almost over. Hold on. Let me read a little bit faster. In fact, there was speculation at the start of Floyd's protest that they would boost Trump and hurt Biden, and that was not borne out. An emphasis on law and order helped the Republican win the 1968 presidential election, and both parties embraced tough on crime, tough on black people approaches to win elections in the 1980s and the 1990s. But the case that Trump won the 2016 election largely but the case that Trump won the 2016 election largely because of identity and racial issues has perhaps been overstated by the media in the years since, and the evidence, at least so far, suggests that the electorate in 2020 may not be responding to issues around race and policing in the way it did in those earlier eras. Interesting. That might be because of the growing number of non-white and college-educated voters who tend to have more liberal views on these issues. It might be because Americans are more uncomfortable with Trump's approach to race than Biden's, or because of the increased media focus on the more radical racial views of white people, such as Trump supporting teenager who shot 3 protesters, killing 2 in Kenosha on Tuesday. But let's say we wake up in a week and Biden's lead in national polls is down to 4 or 5%, 5 percentage points. Let's say Trump has even pulled ahead of Biden in our polling averages in Wisconsin and Florida. My God, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare if that happens. And let's say we get a bunch of new polls in the wake of Blake's shooting that show public opinion firmly opposed to the rioting. Could we conclude that there is an anti-BLM backlash helping Trump? ? Maybe, but it would be hard to say for sure. First, a Trump surge in the polls might simply be a traditional convention bounce. Oh, okay, so basically, this article is telling me like not to go attack the woke mob, and they're like, "You guys elected Trump. It was you guys. It's because of you." They're saying this might be because of other reasons. From the Republican National Convention, which has taken place amid the unrest in Kenosha. Am I pronouncing the city's name right? Kenosha. Second, it would be a bit odd and perhaps disingenuous for voters to switch from Biden to Trump or from undecided to Trump because of riots that Biden has condemned. I don't know. Sometimes people get scared a lot. They're like, oh my God, let me see who's tougher on these things, and I vote for them. Why would it be disingenuous? Ugh. Such voters might be people who traditionally vote Republican, backed Trump in 2016, and have been on the fence this year, but are looking for a rationale to stick with their party and support Trump again. Wait, then what didn't you just contradict yourself? Am I missing something? It would be a bit odd for voters to switch. You just said it's a bit odd, and then you give us a reason for why it might happen. Maybe I'm reading this right. You said this is disingenuous, and then you gave us a reason for why it might happen. Are you being disingenuous? Huh. I might have I might be misunderstanding this paragraph. The Biden has condemned such voters might be. Yeah, you're arguing exactly what you just called disingenuous. What the hell? Am I missing something in this paragraph? This is like a paragraph that just contradicted itself. Let me see what you guys are saying. All the things Trump is promising to stop if reelected are things that happened under his presidency. Why should the next 4 years magically be different? That's what AGA is saying. Anurag Reddy is saying, would BLM have gained such momentum if there were a Democrat president in office? Would Black issues and lives matter as much when it doesn't serve the Democrats? Good question. Ethan is just answering AGA. Hans is talking to AGA. AGA is talking to me. AGA is saying one thing different in Florida for this election. Previously convicted felons have now got their right to vote back. I don't know how much of an influence that's going to be. Here's on Twitch is saying in the second sentence they're referring to people who already lean Republican. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Why did I miss that? It would be... Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Okay, so they're saying it's not going to happen. It's not going to be a switch from Biden to Trump. It's going to be just... If there's any changes, it's going to be people that were already Republican and they went from not voting to going back to voting. Okay, good. Thank you for helping me with reading comprehension. Marco is saying, oh, for F's sakes, even a toaster is better candidate than Trump. It's like a championship. Can somebody or something be more stupid than Trump? Okay, so let's see. Third. By the way, thank you for this Twitch comment. That was helpful. This is why I do this live with you guys. Every time I'm being dumb, you guys help me figure things out. Third, it would be hard to unpack which voters are annoyed by the riots specifically, as opposed to the months of protests against racial injustice, black athletes striking, and other actions that aren't rioting, but still might offend people who are more broadly wary of pushes for racial equality made by Black Americans. We should be skeptical of claims that Americans overall will support Black people's demands for equality if only they made those demands in the manners that America's white majority prefers. History suggests that even peaceful tactics like kneeling can generate a ton of backlash. Remember that the March on Washington and Martin Luther King Jr. were both fairly unpopular in the 1960s. And we should acknowledge that the past 5 decades... Oh, yeah, but okay, just because there would be a major backlash, that doesn't mean that it would be the same level of backlash. I mean, I would think that, yeah, kneeling had a major backlash, but are you suggesting that the riots, again, will get the same level of backlash as kneeling? I mean, I don't think that's true. Yeah, I mean, just because they're both big backlashes, that doesn't mean that they're going to be the same level of backlashes. I would think that more Americans are looking at the riots and having issue with it than the kneelings. That's what I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong. And we should acknowledge that the past 5 decades of American electoral history has shown being the political party aligned with Black people seems very well correlated with the plurality of white people opposing that party. I need to drink some water before I do this. It might be the case that the best thing electoral... Wait, what did I just read? Oh, really? That's crazy. Being the political party aligned with Black people seems very well correlated with the plurality of white people opposing that party. Jesus Christ, is that true? That's pretty crazy. That seems pretty racist. Jesus, if that's the case, that needs to... I mean, I don't know what the cause of this is, but I would like to know. That is insane. It might be the case that the best thing electorally for the Democratic Party would be for Black Lives Matter activists to keep quiet until February, but BLM activists might not want to delay their push for racial justice to focus on Trump's defeat. Again, it's not just the BLM. A lot of the BLM people, a lot of the things that they're doing is not this kind of stuff that will hurt the Democratic Party. It's the woke part of the BLM activists that is going to be hurting the Democratic Party. And the woke part of the BLM activists might not even care whether Trump wins or lose. And some of them might secretly be even in favor of Trump winning. So I don't know, like a lot of these people are like burned out, like not all BLM activists, but a lot of them are like, yeah, burn the whole thing to the ground kind of people. So, I mean, the people that are causing the most chaos are the type of people that, yeah, I don't care Biden or Trump, just burn this whole thing to the ground, right? Like destroy the system. So I don't know if they would be motivated to delay it for the sake of defeating Trump. Again, I might be wrong about this. All that said, there could be a block of voters who support the protest and currently back Biden, but who will shift to Trump because of the riots. We can't rule out that group emerging. Wait, let me read this again. All that said, there could be a block of voters who support the protests and currently back Biden, but who will shift to Trump. Yeah, okay. So you're acknowledging that even though it doesn't look like now, it could happen. We can't rule out that group emerging, but crucially, the group has not emerged yet, despite plenty of opportunity. And based on what we've seen in June, July, August of this year, there are a lot of reasons to be skeptical that such a group will emerge. In terms of racial issues, America is much different from how it was in 1968 and 1989, and maybe even in 2016. Okay, cool. Let me just F11 this and now focus on you guys and see what you guys are saying. Oh my God, we got another super chat by Marco. Thank you so much, Marco. Bank told me I'll be charged for such donations. Thank you, Marco. That's very generous. Yeah, AJ is saying, Jesus Christ, Marco, send some send some my way. Yeah, what's right? Yeah, Marco. No, don't stop sending money. But thank you, Marco. That's very generous. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just gonna say thank you, Marco. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, Soha is also saying thank you, Marco. Marco is saying, yeah, I'm filthy rich. Too bad. Okay. Well, I appreciate your support. I'm really grateful. I just don't know how to say thank you in different ways, but I am very grateful. Let me see if there's anything else. Ethan, our Trump supporter, is saying, the more the athletes, movie stars, and musicians come out for the riots behavior and against Trump, the more regular Americans will support Trump. Citation needed, Ethan. Citation needed. You have to be more skeptical than this, Ethan. You don't know this. You don't know this to be true. You could be like, that's your guess, right? But there's no way right now, at least, to prove that. You might be right. I'm not saying I'm not saying you're not right. You might be right, but again, you can't. Here's how you know you need to be more skeptical. If you are starting to believe things that you want to be true, that should be a red flag for yourself, right? If you read some news articles and their prediction is something that you want to be true, and you starting to notice that you're believing those more often than you're believing news articles or opinion pieces that predict something that you don't want to be true, then you have to notice, like, I'm being pretty biased here with my analysis of what could be true and what cannot be true, right? Notice those biases in yourself. If you're biased for the things that you want to happen, or the analysis that confirms the positions that you already have. We all do. You can never eliminate that. Like, here's how you know. Here's how you could be almost sure that you're extremely biased. If you think you're not biased, okay? Because if you're not noticing your bias, that's also a major red flag. Because you are biased. Like, we're all biased. We're not going to be able to eliminate that bias. We're just going to try to manage it and control it and notice it when it happens. And we're never going to notice it. We're never going to be able to notice it all the time. But if you notice it more often, that's a sign of progress. That you're like, oh yeah, I'm being biased here. Oh yeah, I trusted this guy because he was telling me. So notice it, and forgive yourself for not being able to reduce it to zero, because if you try to reduce it to zero and you fail to reduce it to zero, you're going to end up pretending that you ended up reducing it to zero. Know that it will always be there, but you're going to be able to manage it and reduce it. Okay, that's my suggestion. Yeah, AJ is saying that's an opinion, it's not a fact. It might be a fact, but we don't know. Oh, Susanna, Saint Susanna is here. Our saint, our savior, Susanna. What's up, fools? Finally made it. Yeah, well, we're about done. So, yeah. Susanna Panda in the house. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that panda thing. Did Armin give his anti-far right disclosure yet? Shut up, Susanna. Shut up, Susanna. So I was saying, hi, Susanna. I'm biased when I see a woman in my country in full hijab. It bothers me. I'm not hating on her, but I feel bad. Okay, you're getting a bit too triggered, though, Marco, when you see hijabi women. Like, you could chill, okay? Yeah, it's bad, but don't have to, like, you don't have to get, like, you don't have to cry about it every time you see a hijabi woman. All right. I'm going to stop here unless you guys have anything else to say. Oh, red. This is the biggest. Red pills for Susanna. Red pills for Susanna. Skeptics for Armin. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I like it for some reason. Anyways, I'm going to go, but hey. Oh, wait. We have our Shobham is here as well. Guys, check out Shobham's YouTube channel if you like Hinduism related stuff. But I'm going to go, but guys, I'm going to tell you one last thing. There is a competition between our patrons and our YouTube members. Right now, our patrons, what are we at? Like at 100 and what are we? What are our patronages? But if our patrons are ahead, like YouTube members, I think we're at 50 something, but Patreon, we are at 114. Somebody just stopped being a patron. Yeah. We were at 15, now we're on 14. But whichever, if our patronage gets to 200 patrons, or if our YouTube members gets to 200, because right now I'm scared every time I come live with you guys. I'm stressed that the power could go out at any time because there's power out. Like, this is a third world country that I'm in right now, right? Or the internet could get cut at any time. So if we hit 200 patrons or 200 YouTube members, I'm gonna go buy two things. I'm gonna get a second internet provider as a backup, and I'm also gonna get a backup generator for the electricity, right? So either one you want to support is fine. You could become a YouTube member right next to the subscribe, hit the join button, and you could become a YouTube member. Or you could go on Patreon, link in the description, and you could become a patron. And whichever one of these hits 200 first, I'm going to go do that. Okay, so we had 114 with Patreon, and we had 50 something with our YouTube members. So, and also, again, do not support us financially if you're struggling financially. Do not support us financially if you're struggling financially. There are other ways, better ways you can support us. You could like, you could share, you could subscribe, you could hit the notification bell, you could go follow us on Twitch. Just like Skeptically Pissed here that just send us a comment on Twitch. You can see we are on Twitch right now saying hey. Marco is saying, I'm buying you a small, I don't know if I can say this, reactor. Don't do anything bad with it, Armin. Yep, I won't. I promise. Give me one. AJ saying, no worries. I wouldn't be here either if it wasn't for, I don't know if I could say that. Like, I don't know what to say anymore. Ethan is saying Trump 2020. I hope you wrong, Ethan. I hope we defeat you. I hope, like, holy crap, man. If you win, Ethan, if you win, we're gonna come live and talk about it, and you could laugh at all of us, okay? And I'll be crying here on live with all of you, and Ethan could keep laughing at us. That would be fun. Mark is saying, I already read that. Mars is laughing, and Anurag is saying, I like to see God and religion tell people to stop giving them money. Oh yeah, like you mean like the way I do. We should put down dollars for who wins now. No. If you have dollars to spare, support this channel. What the hell, Mars? If you have dollars to spare, support Atheist Republic. Do not waste your money on betting. All right. We should do it. AJ is saying we should do a live stream on election night. Should we? Like, wouldn't everybody be watching something else? That seemed like a bad idea. Armin 2020. No. But thank you. Thank you for the confidence. Mars saying, haha, don't know what to what. No private saying Armin is Iranian. He's making his own reactor fuel. Well, I'm also Canadian, so. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you, guys. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Do it now. You know you want to do it, okay? All right, I'm going to go. Hit the notification bell right now. Every single one of you that hasn't hit the notification bell, I'm looking at you. You know who you are. Most of you haven't hit the notification bell. Just do it. It doesn't cost you anything other than half a second. It's right there somewhere here. Just do it. Just do it now. Now.